Our first meeting of 2022.
Yippee.
First meeting in a long time, so
That's
anyway,
for sure. Okay.
since August.
Meeting of
Amazing.
Guess the old pandemic has tamped down a lot of activity.
Yeah.
And it is getting old. I hope everybody's well and healthy, doing well.
Yeah.
Yes,
I used to be healthy, wealthy, and wise, but then the stock market went south.
Yeah, I'll shake hands with you on that. Us retired guys have to rely on that a little bit.
Yeah, we sure do.
Brenda is coming in. Full board.
All right.
Hello, Brenda. How are you?
Brenda?
Hi,
Hi,
everyone.
Brenda, how are you?
Hello.
I'm good. How are you guys?
Fine,
Doing
thank
well.
you.
All right.
It's having a
All well
ball.
settled in your new job over there?
Every day's a new day.
You look good.
Thanks. Things are going well.
Good,
I look like it's really dark in here. It's really not.
yeah. Got a couple of minutes here by my clock, but I think we're all here, so we
And
should be
I'll,
ready to start.
And I'll start sharing my screen, Mr. Chair. So when the clock strikes 6, we can get started.
Okay,
Mr. Chair, if you don't mind, I'm just going to run and get my phone to confirm. It says we're live on YouTube, but I would just like to confirm. I will be right back.
okay, we're at 6, so. My birdie clock just went off and says it's 6 o'clock, so.
We're
I
good to
think we're
go.
ready to get started. So I call to order the Board of Zoning Appeals for the City of Westminster. And the first order of business on the agenda tonight is approval of the minutes of our last meeting, which was way back in August. Everyone has seen those minutes and we voted them way back when, but we need to do that now to make it all public. So has everybody gone back and taken a look at those minutes just to make sure? And if so, do I have a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So passed.
Mr. Chair, I'm sorry to
Yes.
interrupt so early on, but could you make a statement as to who is present for the record? Because I don't know that everybody who's here, such as the applicant, knows who everybody is.
Well, that's a good point. I was going to do that, but I'll do it now. For the record, I myself, Chairman Ed Kramer, I'll ask the board members to introduce themselves as well as our attorney Karen and the staff. Larry?
Yeah, I'm Larry Brandt. I'm vice chair of the board.
I'm Brenda Frazier. I'm board member.
Andrew Gray, planner for the city of Westminster.
And Karen Ruff, counsel to the board.
Great. Mr. Applicant, Andrew referred to you as Don. May we do so as well?
Yes, my name is Obiora Chukwuwendo Don. I'm an applicant.
Okay, so we will refer to you as the applicant or Mr. Don, if that's okay with you.
Yes, that's fine.
We are here to hear case number 22-02, an application by Obiora Chukwuwendo Don and Okoli Chioma C, the applicant and property owner, requesting approval of a special exception to operate a home occupation use pursuant to zoning ordinance Article 6, residential 10,000 residential zone, Section 164-30D as in Delta, to be located at 746 Blue Moon Lane in Westminster, Maryland. We'll start with staff report.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This is Board of Zoning Appeals case 22-2. The request is a special exception to operate a home occupations use. The home occupation is for wholesaling of automobiles. With this wholesaling, which would be taking place at the applicant's residence, it would be what would be conducted on the property would be paperwork, all visits from customers, and everything with the actual vehicles themselves would be taking place off premises. The residence would only be for paperwork, filing, and things like that. The proposed special exception use is located in the Stonegate community, right where the orange and red star is. In subsection 164.3 of the city zoning ordinance, home occupations use is defined by 3 criteria: that there's no commodity sold upon the premises. The applicant has stated in their application that the only thing that will be conducted on the property will be the processing and storing of paperwork. No person is employed other than a member of the immediate family residing on the premises. The applicant also mentioned in their application, there won't be any employee other than himself and the immediate family member that will work at the office, and there would be no in-person office visits from members of the public, and no mechanical or electrical equipment is used except as permissible for purely domestic or household purposes. And also, as the applicant did state, that there will not be any mechanical or electrical equipment that will be used other than the usual computer, shredder, or printing machine. The recommendation from city staff is zoning administration recommends that the Board of Zoning Appeals carefully review the special exception request and provide a finding of fact to either approve with conditions, or disapprove the applicant's request. Mr. Chair, if I may ask of you and your fellow board members, would you all accept into the record the application as Exhibit 1 and the staff report, which also contains not only my staff report, but the application and pre-hearing statement as Exhibit 2? And Mr. Chair, I'm here if you and your board members have any questions, and also the applicant is here as well. Thank you.
Request to admit items you mentioned as exhibits 1 and 2 are approved. Members of the board have any immediate questions of Mr. Gray?
I
I do
don't.
not.
Okay, Mr. Applicant, Mr. Don, it's up to you to make your presentation to the board.
Okay, I'm applying for a vehicle wholesale license. And one of the requirements is that I have to have an office, and that office could be my home, and it could be an office office premises. But the office is only for paper filing, and there won't be any sales or any visit or any activities of buying and selling of any vehicle in the premises. So everything will be done, all the buying and selling of the vehicle will be done at the auction locations. So I'm proposing to use my home for an office purpose only.
Okay, do you want to address what's also in your pre-hearing statement for the record?
Yes. Yes. As required pursuant to Section 8 of the Board of Zoning Appeal Rules of Order and Procedures, I, the applicant Obiora Chukwunwandu Don, hereby provide the necessary information to satisfy the following. One, a statement of the grounds upon which the application is based. Two, the copies of all reports, studies, and other documents and plans intended to be introduced at the hearing. A summary of expert testimony and credential which will be offered at the hearing. A list of all witnesses who will testify at the hearing. And finally, an estimate of the time needed for my presentation. So, number one, which is statement of grounds upon which the applicant is based. I, Obiora Chukwunwandu Don, co-owner of the property located within an R 10,000 residential zone governed by Western City Code, Section 16429-29, is requesting for a special exemption to use my property for home occupation use under Section 164-30D. The proposed use of the property is for office only and will not go beyond the guidelines stipulated under the above mentioned section. With the definition home occupation in Section 164-3, I am proposing to use my property as my business registered office to document paperwork in relation to my daily transactions. In accordance to this section, I will constantly abide to the following rules stipulated under this section: that A, the property or the property vicinity cannot be used to buy and sell any vehicle or commodities. B, the property or its vicinity cannot be used for storage, display, or repair of any vehicles. C, there will be no employee that will be working in the property except my immediate family members. D, there will be no use of any mechanical or electrical equipment rather than usual computer, shredder, and printing machine. The proposed business in my property will not in any form affect the master plan or any portion of the plan adopted by the commission. It will not affect the health and safety of the residents or workers in the area. It will not affect water, sanitary, sewer usage, public record, drainage, or disrupt public improvements. It will not affect the development of adjacent property or the characteristics of neighborhood in general. The business will not have the The use of the office of my premises will not affect the traffic conditions, including facilities for pedestrians, like sidewalkers, safety zones, parking facilities, and others, or the orderly growth of the community. It will not affect the conservation of property values or lead to any pollution, like odors or gas, fumes or smoke or dust. The use of the property will not affect the appropriate use of land and structure or prior court decision in regards to such matter. It will not affect the means of access for fire, police, and health services. It will not affect the ability of the city to supply services like water, sewer, school, and transportation. It will not affect the preservation of culture and historical landmarks. And finally, it will not affect the peaceful enjoyment of people in the homes that could be caused by noise, vibration, glare. So based on all these enumerated above, all the standards in accordance with section 164-169 of City Zone Ordinance has been met. The copies of all reports studied.
Can I just stop you there for a moment? I just want to see if the board has any questions on any of that part.
All right.
Does the board have any questions at this point?
I have just a couple, Mr. Don or Donette. Can you give us more details of the nature of your business? I mean, not so much on the premises, but where is your business located? Where's the main part of your business located? What are you doing? Just to give us an idea of how this connects to your business off premises.
Okay, I'm into wholesale buying of cars and buying of cars at the auction. So what I normally do is that, these days because of COVID, I can log into auction location, either in Baltimore, Washington, Baltimore location. Then I'll purchase a car, and that is for wholesale buyers. That auction is for wholesale buyers only. We buy, and I can buy from the Baltimore, Washington location and take it to another auction location and sell. So that is basically what we do, for wholesale buying and selling of cars. So for the office, I'm looking for it just for where I will file all my business activities, and basically nobody is coming here to visit me. And also, I forgot in my pre-statement on my pre-statement to talk about the signage. There won't be any signage that will be needed.
Where's the location where you keep vehicles?
Sometimes I keep vehicles at the auction location, because what I do, like today is an auction in Baltimore, Washington auction. Today is auction day. We buy. Then Tuesday I will move the vehicle to. On Thursday, sorry, I will move the vehicle to Fredericksburg, an auction location there. So basically.
Well, after you buy a vehicle, do you have to, I assume you have to store it someplace before you resell it. Where would that be located?
Yeah, that would be located in Elkridge.
In Elkridge?
Yes.
Yeah. And is that where you would make any repairs or additions or whatever to the vehicles?
Yes.
And at that particular location, now, how many employees other than yourself do you have?
Basically, I don't have any employees now. At that location, we pay $10 per day for storage over there.
So it's
So
just
do
for
you-
storage.
So they charge $10. Yeah, they charge $10 a day.
But
In
where do you
case-
make, I assume, I assume most of your vehicles aren't pristine where you can just flip them and sell them to another owner. Where do you do any repairs to vehicles?
Most vehicles I buy this, I don't do any repairs. And I'm still on a small scale. I buy 1 or 2 cars, I don't buy much. And most times we have 5 days free storage at the location, at the auction location too. So sometimes I will move my vehicle from that location. Maybe after 2 days, I brought it to another location for flipping.
Do you expect that you would be, even on a temporary basis, be locating the auctioned vehicles at your premises just for whatever reason?
No.
Okay.
No. Because one is it's not cost effective for me to take my car from all the way from auction in Acreage to here, and from here to Fredericksburg. It's not gonna be profitable. So I will not think of doing that, and I will not do that.
Could you give me a little more detail of the activities you'll be doing on the premises of your house?
What I'll be doing on the premises of my house is to file every documents of the transaction activities that I've done, like the receipts, the receipts of the payments I made to the auction, and the receipts of the payments the auction made to me, and every other documents that are related to my business. That is actually what I will file here, and yeah, and sometimes make a calls, answer emails. That is all I'll be doing here. And also, like I said earlier on, because of the COVID, we buy cars online now. As I'm talking to you, I sit in my office here, log into the auction location and do my transactions without being there presently.
And just out of curiosity, do you rely a lot on like FedEx and UPS and whatever for having documents brought and sent from your house or wherever you are now? How much do you use overnight services?
I only use, depending on the location where I bought the vehicle, it could be out of the States. Yeah, I use FedEx for them to deliver my documents, and sometimes I have an account with FedEx which I can drop off a documents if I want the documents to be sent to a location.
I guess that's all for now, anyway. Thanks. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, you can continue on with the next portion of your pre-hearing statement.
Okay. The next portion was is the copies of reports, studies, and other documents and plans intended to be introduced at the hearing. I attached the floor plan as an evidence. I also attached addendum to wholesale vehicle. The reason why I attached the addendum, wholesale vehicle, is for you people to see actually that the office I'm proposing for, the property which I'm proposing to use for an office is just mainly for documentations.
Okay, there's one question concerning the picture of your home
Yes.
and the office space.
Yes.
A question about the orientation. It seems to be the opposite of what was described in terms of going in the front door and turning left into an office. And the
Yes.
picture shows what looks like you go in the front door and turn left, but the picture shows it to be on the opposite side. Or were you taking the picture from within the office?
Yeah, when I come, I'm in the office right now. That's where I'm talking to you people from. When I open my door, I make a left. The office on my left.
So there should be a solid wall on the other side if that's where the garage is. At least that's the picture that you sent us. You see the solid wall on the right side of opposite the office.
Yes.
We're trying to figure out how you took the picture and what the orientation is there, just to be clear.
The picture here, the picture I send here is the picture that is on the pamphlet given to us by the property management. Actually, the picture is not the picture I made by myself at that point. But the way the floor plan is exactly what I have here now. When I open the door on the left, open the door, the office is on the left.
Okay,
So
so
this picture, I took this picture from the pamphlet given to us at that time by the DH Houghton.
so it may have been a different rendering than the one that is actual now, what you're saying.
Yeah, it may be a different, but it's still, because they have the house they have, they call it Summit. So what they gave to me is Summit, what they gave to us is Summit, and the house I bought here is Summit, because we just bought and closed this house on December 29th.
Okay, so basically the picture that you sent us is the actual, not the photograph in terms of where the office is.
Not the photo, but it's the same thing, other than that this one looks like is on the right instead of on the left.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm okay with that. Are any board members all right with that?
I am. There's probably multiple floor plans in that area.
I'm okay.
Mr. Don, I think board member is asking if that must have been taken from other floor plans of that area at the time, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, if there's no other further questions there, I have I do have a question. The other documents that you are referencing there, as the MVA addendum,
Yeah.
apparently relates to your request for a license to be a wholesale vehicle dealer and
Yes.
what the state is requiring of you. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Have you satisfied all those requirements? Have you basically received your license, or can you tell us what the status is?
The status, the first step is to get the zoning approval, and that is where I am now. So I cannot make any other steps except I get the zoning approval.
So it's our approval that must come first, and then the state will determine the license.
Yes.
Okay. I'm okay with that. Any board members have any questions in that area?
I don't have any questions.
I don't have any questions, although I would just kind of throw out there that maybe one of the conditions we put on any approvals would be that he would have an active approvals by the state for being a wholesale vehicle dealer. But that's just a comment more than anything.
I would tend to agree. Can you comment on that, Andrew? From the city's perspective?
Yes, Mr. Chair. Just to give you a really brief background, the reason that this came before Board of Zoning Appeals is because the applicant came into the city office building requesting a zoning form for the MVA approval, and we cannot approve the MVA zoning form since the use is a special exception, and that's how this got in front of the board today. So once the board approves it and we have the signed decision from you, Mr. Chair, we would then go ahead and approve the MVA form, which the applicant would take back to the Maryland Motor Vehicles Administration. And that is, then he would move forward from there.
So I guess to Larry's point, it wouldn't be necessary to make that a contingent, or I guess we get to that point in final discussion anyway. But what's your view? Andrew?
Of the application in front of us?
No, to Larry's point about making a stipulation that the license be approved as a contingent part of our decision, should we go that direction? But it sounds like it's working the other way around. Once we make this approval, then the city's willing to sign off on the MVA portion of it. So that wouldn't be necessary from my perspective. That's what I'm asking.
I mean, the only thing I can tell you is once the board, if the board approves the request, we would sign the MVA form. But with whether or not the condition, I don't know if this is more of a Ms. Ruff question, a legal question.
Well, that's where I'm going next, but just to make sure.
Yeah, while I'm just thinking, the city goes ahead and approves it, but, for whatever reason, the license could be withdrawn by the state. And can we put ourselves in a situation that is, if this wholesale vehicle dealer's license is withdrawn, then the exception is extinguished? Or does it matter? I think it does, but, throw it out
Ms.
there.
Ruff, can you help us out with that?
Sure. I think that the whole purpose behind this request is to support the wholesale business that he has, and that is the light with which you're reviewing this particular application. And so if he were to do some other type of occupation or profession that would require a home occupation, in my view, it would require an analysis of the special exception criteria as well to ensure that whatever that continued use of the office would be, it would fall within the parameters of the city code special exception requirements. Does that make sense?
It does to me, yes.
So if you were to approve this, it would be tied into this particular use.
Right.
So you're saying that we wouldn't need that as a condition for our approval?
Well, I think it's a built-in condition, if you will, in that it's the home occupation is for the support of the wholesale car use, because your whole decision would talk about how the facts presented by the applicant tonight with respect to that particular business met the requirements of the code. So I think it will be essentially conditioned on that being the use that's made of. And so I have two other questions, if I might ask. I think that the applicant may have clarified this. The application, I believe, is dated December 30th. The SDAT information shows a different owner. And the application says that the owner and the applicant are the same. And so this question is for the applicant. I believe you said you purchased the property on December 29th,
Yes,
and that is why SDAT would show a different owner. So you are in fact the owner and the applicant in this case?
yes. I received the deed of the house just 2 days ago. So I
Okay.
believe by now, if you check again, it will reflect my name and my wife's name.
Excuse me, what name are you doing business under?
I'm there under Donnet Automobile and Global Services.
Can you say that again, please, clearly?
Donnet Automobile and Global Services.
So it's the Donut that we see on the screen. That's actually the name.
Yes, sir.
Okay. That satisfy you, Larry?
Yes, thank you.
So I have a quick question. I'm assuming, Andrew, that you would, just for crossing the Ts, dotting the Is, go back and look at the property owner, or the city would, to put that with the file?
Yes, we can do that. SDAT, sometimes there's a little lag between
Sure.
because that would be all the, the entire database for the state of Maryland, but we'll definitely go back and triple check that. Because originally when we did this, I pulled that information off, I think on January 5th of 2022. It had DR Horton, but I can triple check it right while we're in the meeting here.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because I was going to ask that same question because that kind of struck me, and I highlighted here in my notes that DH Horton was shown as the owner. Had that transaction already taken place, but anyway.
And Mr. Chair, if I may,
Yes. Go ahead.
SDAT does show the applicant as the owner. I just confirmed.
Okay, super.
Andrew, one question. If we were to approve this home occupation, would your record show Mr. Or Donat TB trading as Donat, whatever the official title is, so that both are in the records?
Yes, I can take the, what I'll do is I'll take the updated SDAT information and put that with the record.
Okay. Just so the records show the actual individual owner of the property plus the business doing business out of that location.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. Maybe showing it as a DBA doing business as. So. All right, Mr. Don, you have anything
sir.
else you want to add and getting to the end of your testimony here?
No.
Okay. If there's nothing else, and there's no further questions, or unless there are from the board, we will close testimony and have discussion. Having heard none, we are closing testimony.
Okay. My closed testimony, I'm appealing to the board to grant my request, and I'm making a promise that I will not go beyond, I will not go outside the conditions that will be given to me if my proposal is approved.
Okay, we thank you very much. Thank you for the completeness of your application and answering our questions. We will now close testimony and have board discussion. I think I'll probably take the lead here to start with. by virtue of everything that was presented to us in writing and so far in the discussion today, I think clarification of things, I'm inclined to consider this application favorably. Any other comments?
The only question I had, which Larry asked, was where, between buying and selling, where the cars were stored. So, and I'm satisfied with the answer that was given.
Okay,
And then this might be a question for council here. My concerns are, I mean, this is a townhouse community, so a lot of my questions are kind of focused on, on the neighbors and just, appearances outside, the applicant's home. And I'm relatively, I'm satisfied with the answers I have. I guess my question is, do we need to put a condition on that no repair, storage, or business other than basically the paperwork be done on the premises? Or, I mean, does council believe we ought to put that type of condition on or not?
Yes, sir, I do. And I think that when you go through the special exception criteria, at least a little bit to let us know what to put in the decision, that is something you would touch on. We heard that there will be no signage. We heard that nobody will be coming to the home office. We have heard what will be in the home office, the sole transactions. All of those would be conditions of approval that we put into the decision as well.
Yeah, I would like those decisions, or I'm sorry, those conditions, in the final decision. That there would be no signage, that there would be no repair, storage, or, of any of the commercial or auction vehicles. And I think that's about it.
it seemed to me.
Yes, sir.
It was, I mean, I tend to agree, but it just seems to me like those have already built in to the application for, in the pre-hearing statement and the testimony that was given. That they really need to be stated separately. I mean,
I would like, for the, if for some reason, and I'm not suggesting, this of the applicant, but if for some reason, there becomes some exterior use of the property for the business, I would just like to have that for the record. So if somebody within the neighborhood has a concern, that they can look to see that the board made that as a condition of the approval.
And if I might, it would also give the city the ability to cite that property owner for doing that in violation of the special exception approval.
I mean, I have no doubt that the applicant's, business really is located in Elk Ridge. So, I don't have an immediate concern. I just want to make sure, as you say, that the city has some sort of leverage if something does happen, that's all.
okay. Maybe Larry, you're in the best position, and if you want to go ahead and make the motion with those conditions.
Okay. Okay, I move the approval of the application as presented with the following conditions, that there will be no signage, outdoor or indoor signage, or signage, because you can put it in a window. What do I want to say? Any signage which can be seen from the exterior of the house, that there would be no repair, storage, or of vehicles or any other business conducted on the exterior of the house or within the house, other than bookkeeping and other general office requirements, something like that.
I would second that. And All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Unanimously passed. Karen, just to check with you, are we good there?
So I guess what I would say is I take from the motion that you concur that zoning ordinance section 164, 169, which has the special exception criteria, has been met as stated by the applicant, not only in what was submitted in writing, but also the verbal testimony before you tonight.
Yes, as far as I'm concerned.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, then I guess we have completed, and Mr. Don, your application has been approved. You will be hearing back from the city and a final copy of our findings and recommendation will be finalized by our council. We give that usually 30 days. Is that okay with you, Karen?
Yep.
You're muted, sorry.
I'm sorry about that. I will provide a copy of the decision to you within 2 weeks. So you
2
can
weeks.
take a look at it, circulate it, and we can get it finished within that 30-day period.
Okay, very good. So Mr. Don, as you heard, you will get your final decision within the next 30 days.
All right.
If there's
Thank you.
no other business before the board tonight, then we are officially adjourned. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank
Good
you all.
seeing you all.
Thank you,
Look
sir.
forward to the next time.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Good evening. Bye.